Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. I took a little bit longer of a break than I had originally intended on taking, but it's whatever. So, the next My High School Days video I was going to discuss with you guys. Now, first keep in mind that none of these videos from this point on are going to be in order. They're just basically going to cover 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and more or less how God used certain people or used certain circumstances or events to grow me towards Christ, or towards Him, I should say, and to become the person that I am today. With that being said, the next video I'm going to be discussing with you guys is going to be the very first Christian concert, to my knowledge, that I ever attended, which I believe that was in September or something like that of 2010. It was a TobyMac concert. So let's get into it. So, a bunch of us met up at the school one evening, and of course, when I found out there was a TobyMac concert going on, I had known about him, of course, for some time, years to be more specific. And I was like, hey, I would love to go to that. So I paid the fee that was due, and we all piled into the English teacher's car. We always like to call him BJ, which is his first name. And he never really cared. He was a really cool young guy. He was in his 30s. He's probably a lot like Brian and I were, in the sense that we're young. We like to play games. We like to stay up late. We're really chill. We're easygoing. We're great listeners, that kind of thing. So he got the car going, and we started driving out towards Lakeland. If I remember correctly, he took the Polk Parkway, but that's besides the point. So, he messed around a little bit while we were driving out there. Not going to say what he was doing because I don't want to make him look bad or anything. And I attended the concert, and I had a really good time. I really thoroughly enjoyed the concert. It was at a church in Lakeland somewhere. And after the concert was over, this is what I think you guys would really like to hear. So, as we were driving back, I really started to open up towards these people because I'm starting to see, wow, these guys are genuine. These guys are real. I've never been invited to do something with a school group that quickly. Like Oasis Christian Academy that I used to go to, formerly known as Haven Christian Academy. I never got invited by them to do something that quickly, nor did I ever have such genuine friendships or relationships at that school. But these guys were like very down to earth, you could say. So we're just driving along, and I just started, asking questions, and I started proving to them even back then, and I still say this is true now, but not as accurate or true as it was back in the day. My self-esteem was absolutely pathetic back then. We're not even going to go there. There's certain things about my self-esteem that's not appropriate for the internet. So, we're not going to talk about that. So instead, I would like to tell you guys that, yes, my self-esteem has improved, though I still would like for you guys to pray for me to improve on my self-esteem. And I know a lot of it is because I'm very self-conscious of my autism. But I've come a long ways, and I just need to keep being reminded that I've improved. And sometimes I need to keep reminding myself that I've improved too. And I appreciate the fact that these guys were trying so hard to prove to me that they saw me for who I really was, and that I was being too hard on myself. Just like how Answers in Genesis really, truly cares about me and sees me for who I really am, that's how they felt about me too. And they were like, well, this David's a really cool guy. We really like this guy. He's really awesome guy. We really enjoy his company, those kind of things. And I don't know, it was just that ride back home. It really got me thinking. There was something they said. I wish I remembered what it was. But I just remember sitting there and just staring off into outer space. And I'm just like, wow. I've never been told that. Not by anybody outside of family, anyway. When you talk to family about certain things, you're always going to hear the same exact thing over and over again. And that's exactly how I felt. Like, I can't tell you guys how many times I've talked to my family about the whole self esteem thing. And I know there are people out there on YouTube that know all about having low self esteem. So I know you're out there. And you don't have to necessarily come forward and tell me in the comments, but I know that there are people out there like myself who have low self esteem, who don't exactly think highly of themselves. In other words, and I just want you guys to know we're all in this together. And yeah, sometimes I don't think I'm the most handsomest guy ever, and I know that's not true, but at the same time, I look at myself like, man, there's things I want to prove here, here, here. But how many people probably look at themselves in the mirror, and girls, mainly referring to you. You know how many of you girls like to go in the bathroom and spend hours in there just doing your makeup, and you're spending too much time looking at those magazines and comparing yourselves to those actresses? Well, you gotta stop that. I actually learned a number of years ago those magazines are fake. They use CGI to remove a lot of the blemishes and stuff like that. And I'm sure that there are celebrities out there who have freckles. They use CGI to remove all that stuff. They use CGI to make it look like they're not fat. The computer generated imagery honestly causes a lot of problems. It can be a great asset, but it also can cause so many problems. So stop being fooled by computer generated imagery. My problem is I've always had this problem of comparing myself to other people I know personally, like my brother. I'm always telling people that my brother is better than me on a lot of levels. And whenever people want to genuinely get to know me better, I'm always spending more time bragging about my brother and less time about myself. And some people might look at me and go, I didn't ask about your brother, I asked about you. I would not be surprised if I ever get asked that or I get that kind of body language, because that's probably how I would feel if I were talking to someone that I didn't know and they spent more time talking about the other person. I would probably get a little upset at that person, go, obviously you don't think very highly of yourself, and I would probably get turned off. And that's probably how people feel when they talk to me, even though I'm really just thinking to myself, well, there's really nothing exciting about me. But some people find out that I'm a YouTuber, and there's a lot of people at the Ark Encounter who are just blown away by the fact that I'm a YouTuber. There are people who, like at the Ark, for example, who got out of their way just to watch my YouTube videos, which is very encouraging to me. I had people at Meyer who were watching my YouTube videos, whether they're still doing it or not. That's their choice, but I'm certainly not shoving down my YouTube channel down their throats still. In fact, I don't really even talk to them about it. The Ark, they all know I'm a YouTuber. That's one thing. I mean, when it comes to my YouTube channel, I'm going to continue to make my YouTube videos. I'm going to continue to go to different events. I may not always YouTube every single day. I admit, just like any other person, YouTubers are people too. They're regular people. Sometimes I'm not always in the mood to do it. There are days when I get home from the Ark Encounter and I'm like, man, I'm tired. Or, I was tired today too, but there are days when I do get home from the Ark Encounter and I'm on the phone with Brian Brown, for example. He's my close friend that's in Nevada. Or I just want to play a game with him. Or there are days when I get home and I might just want to be by myself. I might want to play a game by myself. There are days when I might just want to go watch television. I might be so tired I just want to go take a nap. And YouTubers are not always committed to YouTubing every single day. And I will tell you guys this. There are days when I said that I was going to YouTube that, but you guys all know that I'm very fickle. That means I change my mind often. Like I did last Friday. I changed my mind, 5 times in the video about what I was going to eat? You know what a pain in the butt it is to leave Kings Island and go find somewhere to eat? And I was really just not feeling like going out to eat so close to when I was going to be eating dinner. So it's just a matter of, okay, if it was, earlier in the day, I might have been okay with it, but it was getting later in the day, and I also didn't know when Danny was going to be officially meeting up with me. So there's a lot of things that didn't come into play, but how does this all correlate back to the video? It just all goes to show we're all human, we're all struggling with something. Maybe more back then. Some people are still struggling just as much back then as they are now. Everybody's different. Everybody has something going on. Something I'm definitely learning for sure. My problems may be, I might have, this problem, but somebody else might have a completely different problem. Or there might be somebody else out there that's like, yeah, I can relate to you on the whole self-esteem thing, that kind of deal. And trust me, when I start talking more about how Skillet has impacted my life, which I've already done a YouTube video about that, then you guys are going to start to understand why it's so important for me to meet them one day. And trust me, I have tried numerous times, but I feel like when God's ready for me to meet them, He'll allow me to meet them, whether it's here on earth or whether it's in heaven. I already know they're Christians. John Cooper is very upfront about his faith. He is a devout Christian. He has said so many times in person, so I know he's genuine. And I know there are people out there that don't believe they're Christians. I went to a bowling alley in Lake Wales one time. I asked them, this was a night they were doing Christian rock and roll. Hey, can you put on Skillet? And they're like, they're not Christian. I'm thinking to myself, how could you say that? How do you know they're not Christian? Have you attended one of their concerts before? So I'm going to save you guys the trouble of talking to you guys about what a Skillet concert is like by just basically saying they're super loud, they use a lot of pyro, but they're also very upfront about their faith, especially John Cooper. Like, that man uses every single opportunity he can get during his concerts to talk about his faith. When he's at Kings Island this summer, during his concert, he's going to try as absolutely as much as he can to talk about his faith. Kings Island may or may not be a secular environment. I don't know. But I do know that they're okay with the words Merry Christmas, and that makes me happy. So I do have to applaud them on that. Anyway, enough of that video. So the next time I do another My High School Days YouTube video, I figured I would talk to you guys about how I met my high school best friend. Unfortunately, we're no longer friends because unfortunately we lost touch, but that's okay. I'm happy that he has a girlfriend now. I did find that out. Also, would like to talk to you guys more about how I got interested in Skillet, so I'll definitely make sure I go into that. I also would like to talk to you guys about basically what my chapels were like, my chapel services. That can be like a very interesting topic because the chapel services varied from week to week, so we never really went on talked about the same topic. I honestly feel like the chapel services can be a very long topic because there's so much I could say about the chapel services. Another one I would like to talk to you guys about is what basically work on Mondays were like. Unfortunately, I will have to announce that in that video how Workout Monday basically left my left big toe on my foot permanently damaged for life on my on as long as I'm on this planet anyway. And you'll find out the story about that. But you know what? Even though that incident happened 12 years ago and my toe is still damaged to this day, it's not the end of the world. Well, I shouldn't say the toe is damaged. The toenail is damaged. I can still move the toe. So I'm not scaring anybody or anything. And sorry about the light. It's getting darker, and the light up there is not always the greatest. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? There's a lot of things about me that are damaged. For one thing, I have sin in my life. For another thing, I have autism. For another thing, I have epilepsy. I could go on, but you get the point. Now I got this damaged toenail. But all that stuff will be gone when I do finally get to heaven. And I know 100% I'm going to heaven because I remember when I gave my life to Christ when I was 8 years old. It was the summer of 2001. You can actually learn about that if you ever want to look up my life-changing experience on YouTube. I know my church likes to have everybody that gets baptized share their life-changing experience. I don't know how I can condense mine to a 3-minute long life-changing experience. So, therefore, I have a 30-minute long life-changing experience like I'm doing right now that's on YouTube, and it's called My Life-Changing Experience Revised, just like that, and it's going to be under My Faith, mostly discussion-based vlogs or something like that. So, hopefully you can check that out sometime. Until then, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.